Shalom, Shalom Israel. This is Brother Ishmael from WFI Trinidad, coming back with a quick snack, a quick video. Alright. But first and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai being who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So today we back here with a quick video. We're going into 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 1, and we're going to see as men if we could say this with much confidence, as in men being leaders of their households, or even men in camps that have positions as leaders, or even on the whole as an Israelite brother. Can you say this to someone with much confidence in yourself, as in alright, you could tell someone this, right? So this is 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 1. Say, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Alright, so could you say this to your household, as in if you have a wife, children, right? Could you say this to other Israelite brothers? Bro, follow me as I am following Christ. Could you say this to other men, right? And the only way we could do that is how? By following Christ, by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? And walking uprightly, right? So this is the book of 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 7. For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we behave not ourselves disorderly among you. Alright, so in other words, you have to behave yourself in a certain manner, right? Therefore, men could look at you and say, well, alright, this brother, I could look up to this brother, not to serve this brother or to put this brother on a pedestal, but to look up at this brother as a righteous example, right? So it say, for yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we behaved not ourselves disorderly among you. Meaning, going and be out there acting a fool, or going and be out there when brother's not around, right? And he's a whole different person, right? You don't want to be living a double life, right? You want to be always upright, even when nobody watching, right? You want to always hold that upright position, as in keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, because you never know who watching, right? This is 1 Timothy 4 and verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Right? You're going to read it again. Let no man despise thy youth, as in I myself is a young brother. Right? So as well as other brothers that young in this thing, or brothers probably in the truth like a year, 2 years, right, 3 years, right, babes in the truth. Right, it say, let no man despise thy youth. Now, that don't mean to be proud and prideful, but don't let no man tell you, well, alright, you too young to be acting uprightly, or you too young to have this knowledge, or most of the older people would look down on a younger brother, thinking like, he don't know what he's saying. Understand? So it say, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believer. So therefore, to be an example, right? It could be a good example or a bad example. And it say to be an example of the believers. So therefore, you want to show good works, right? In word, right? You don't just want to be saying any and anything, right? Reading on. In word, Salake, in in conversation, right? The certain conversations, right, we indulge in, right? You want to make sure that there's nothing foul, right, or nothing off, or nothing out of the spirit, right? Say in charity, right? You want to show good example in charity, right? In spirit, right? You want to move in spirit. You want to be a good example, showing brothers how to move in spirit, right? Even as most important, brothers with wives and children, right? You as the man being head of the household, therefore the head have to always show a good example. Because if the head, right, not on, the whole body would just fall off, right? In faith, right? You want to show a good example in faith, in purity, right? You want to be pure in doing this thing, right? You don't want to, as I say before, live a double life, or you're just doing it for the likes and these kind of things. You want to be a righteous example even when nobody watching, right? You still want to hold that integrity, right? It's the book of Matthew 3 and verse 16. This is Matthew 3 and 16. And Yahushua, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of the Most High. Not this one. Salakia, wrong precept. Let's go to Sirach. Salakia, wrong precept. Let's go to the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 14 and verse 5. Yeah? It's the book of Sirach 14 and verse 5. It say, he that is evil to himself, whom will he be good? So if you, as in our brother, you're not even taking care of his spirit, you're not even studying about any times to come, you're not even studying about you making it to the third heaven, right? You're not studying about that, but you're studying about you being all for this world, right? Therefore, that's you not being good to yourself. So it's a he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? So therefore, if a man can't even control himself or to be good to himself, how could he be good to someone else? So therefore, if we not being upright, or if we not being good to ourselves, as in reading, studying, fasting, praying, right, keeping ourselves in spirit, how can we teach somebody to be in spirit, right, or to study or to fast? You understand? Because you don't want to be a hypocrite. Say, he shall not take pleasure in his goods, right? So a man who not being good to himself can't be good to others. So therefore, you want to be good to yourself, so it could be good to others. And being good to yourself, right? One example could be, alright, yeah, keeping integrity, you're walking uprightly, you understand? You're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You're not changing your tongue for the crowd, alright? It's the book of Joshua, right? It's the book of Joshua 24 and verse 15. So this is Joshua 24 and 15. And if it seem, and if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh, choose you this day whom ye will serve. So if you think it evil to serve the Lord, right, then you choose who you want to serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. Right? So, as for the brothers with wives and children, or in other words, the brothers with families, right? You want to set the example as in, for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Because if you as the head, right, you have to set good examples. Understand? You can't be in the truth and you can't be knowing, all right, this prophecy happening, all right, this one next, all right, okay, this one happening, all right, this one next, all right, and yep, and you there putting things in place, you understand, and your whole family lost. Them don't know what the hell going on, you understand, but you alone have the wisdom and knowledge and them just lost, you understand. You want to have your whole house serving the Lord, as in you set examples, you set schedules, right? You say, like, on these days you reading, these days you studying, right? This day you fasting, you understand. You set examples in your household so that your house could serve the Lord, as in you being the leader, you being the head of your household, right? So again, 1 Corinthians 11:1, right? Can we as men in the truth say this with confidence? Can we tell our households or our brothers, can we say this with confidence, as in tell a man, follow me because I follow in Christ? Can we say this with confidence? Right? So again, brothers with families, right? Brothers, or even as well as your household could be, alright, you have a camp and you being like a leader in the camp, you understand? That as well could be your household, right? This is the book of Salakia. This is the book of Salakia. So back again, the rain came down and I had to pause a little bit. Alright, so jumping back in. This is the book of Deuteronomy 11 and verse 18. Alright, Deuteronomy 11 and 18. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that ye may be as that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. Right, reading on. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them, when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So this here is a simple way, right? In other words, be a good example unto your household, right? So you basically teaching your household, right? Reading on. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house and upon thy gates, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. So telling you that to remember these laws, statutes, and commandments, and teach it to your children, teach it to your household. This is how you could be a righteous example unto your household, unto your wife, you understand? Because you alone don't want to be in the truth and your household lost, right? That out of order, you understand? And a balance, right? Let's have a few more. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 35. It's the book of 1 Corinthians 14 and 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. Right? So therefore, the first part to show, alright, you teach your children. This part is a show that you teach your wife, right? Because a man's wife can't be out there being taught by another man, right? So therefore, say, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, right? Therefore, the husband should be teaching his wife, right? So the husband alone shouldn't just be in the truth and know what's taking place and the wife lost. Right, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. So the husband have to pick up the role and teach your wife, you understand? Be a good example to your wife. Tell your wife, alright, follow me. Right? Not exactly how a man would be, but in other words, in spirit, in faith, You understand? Therefore, your household could follow you, right? In spirit, in faith. You understand? They could look at you as a righteous example to follow you. Right? You could teach your wife, teach your children, right? And to do that, right? Let's go to Galatians 5:22, because to do that you must be moving in the spirit as well, right? So this is Galatians 5 and verse 22. It say, but the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, right? So you want to be moving, right, in the fruits of the spirit, so therefore you could be a righteous example unto your brothers, unto your household, right? Or as well as people outside of the truth looking on, right? Meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. It's like, and they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. So to be a righteous example, you have to walk in the spirit, right? So with that, Most High will Israel was edified, and that brothers understand and examine, right, yourselves, right, to see if we could align to 1 Corinthians 11:1, right? Let me just go back to it. Can we tell our brethren or our household this according to 1 Corinthians 11:1? It say, be ye followers of me, even as I am. So like, even as I also am of Yahushai, right? Hamashiach, right? So can we tell this to our household? Can we tell this to our brethren, right? Follow me because I'm following Christ. Can we say this with confidence, right? So Most High will brothers was edified and understand that we need to examine ourselves and see if we could say this with confidence. So with that, I bid Israel a shalom.